Hi guys, it's Jet Skeptic Media here. This is such an exciting day. I swear we're going to see the Flat Earthers' first model. I heard Flat Earth British talking about it on a hangout with Doomweaver. This is going to be history in the making. I can't wait. This is so exciting. Globebusters have their first map, working map. This is going to blow all the skepticism away. Even me. I might even change my name to Jed Flat Earth Media. My heart's beating here. I can't wait. Let's go, guys. Let's watch this.
Oh, you heard that right. Join Awake Souls, Jason Laufenberg, and Ronnie Harris of Event Skeptic.
I can't wait. This is so exciting. Globebusters have their first map, working map. It's
okay. The Flat Earth working map and model, macro to micro. Stars to the sun.
Will always be lined up where the north is.
Oh man, I just feel like I ate some manna.
Different grid work than this. It was just a rectangular grid work, but I forgot to adjust the angle. Timeanddate.com. It's 63 degrees. It's the sunrise angle to. Was it 87 is the sunset, and
Tonight, live at 8 p.m. Central. Only on Beyond Flat Earth.
Hey, we're back. How is everyone today? This is the Limitless Channel here, and I'm introducing Awake Souls.
how's it going, brother? How are you doing?
Great, man. Great, man. Beautiful day.
Beautiful day. And I like Wednesday nights a lot as far as the type of content that we do. It's more the upbeat, in your face proofs, and calling out chills. And Sundays are more of our scriptural, spiritual days, and Friday nights we're just sort of play it by ear, see what's been going on. But yeah, tonight I'm hoping to go through some of the evidence that's been popping up, talking about things that we call the fake flat earthers, the channels that promote the AE map model, things that they've been saying, and things that we know are not true, and just really, really, really start calling people out heavy. And we're going to have the phone lines open if you want to call in and weigh in on what's going on. But there's going to be a section that Ronnie and I get into where he got a shout out from Pat Steer on her hot potato show.
I already got two subs thanks to that. Thank you, Pat.
But we're going to be calling out some names, and this is not the type of shout out that a person wants. This isn't something to give you attention and subs. We're going to be calling out shills, known shills, people that Ronnie and I have come across, people that we know are spreading disinformation, and we're just going to be calling it out. Bang, 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 bang. We're going to be throwing down evidence for the reason why we call these people out. And, you know, we want to hear what you have to say too. So we'll be putting up the number. But Ronnie, you want to tell us what's going on in your world?
Well, it's a fine line. Whenever you bring attention to anybody, like, you know, in Hollywood, Satan would or whatever, there's no bad publicity, right? Jason and I have been the most censored in the truth movement, in my opinion, at least for sure in the flat earth movement. We're Christians. Everyone pretty much, you know, most people now are starting to be like, they hate God, they hate the Bible, they don't like any of its principles. So we already deal with that. On top of Jason and I were sent here to this earth to witness to the truth. And so if you're someone who's, you know, calling out the lies and deception and actually going above and beyond the disinformation campaigns, you can't have any attention to you. But for someone that's calling out the disinformation campaigns to be exposing these people, it's a totally different ballgame. We bring their names up, but we also show information that discredits them. Whereas the people that are against Jason and I, all they can say is, oh, those guys are liars, or some other ad hominem attack, because the information that we release is truthful, it's back-checked, it's verifiable, and it's truth. So we don't care about exposing the lies and deceptions. That's what we're here to do. But really, when they say our names, like, you know, I do check out their show, Jay, right, every now and then. I don't hate any of the flat earthers. Bob is someone who vehemently rejected Yahawashai and even had some crazy statements like children that get raped chose to be raped to deal with some sort of karmic justice throughout lives. And, you know, I just think that's absolute satanic. I still forgive the guy. I love the guy. That's his deluded beliefs. I feel he has every right to speak them. I don't hide the fact that his name is Bob from Glowbusters, but you can actively see that this is what they do to us, right, Jay?
Well, Bob was actually nominated for most satanic rant with that whole, there are people here that their purpose is for us to be able to rape them and molest them. Yeah, I mean, it was gross, and the chat recognized it as gross. Everybody sort of turned on him at that point. And when we were going through like the most satanic rants like Jaren's and IPS's, Bob's was right up there, high contender. So
IPS won that one out. But looking at it nowadays, it might have been an act. See, that's the other thing. Most of these characters in the community are failed actors, right?
So many, yeah. We'll be going through the list, but that reminds me of that email that I got from Treasure Map Tim. Like, there's this person that's been trolling Ronnie and I and a bunch of the other popular flat earthers. And you can see the list of all the people that the email gets sent to. It's got, you know, the majority of the popular flat earthers on there. And so this anonymous person, Treasure Map Tim, sends messages once in a while. And so this recent one was acknowledging all the flaws in the AE map and model and pointing out that this is really a part of a reality TV show that's happening. Like, we are the participants in this reality TV show right now. There are specific channels that they have to be paid and promoted in order to have gotten in the positions that they are. The media picks these people up. The media uses these people. They all promote this impossible AE map and model. And it's happening all around us, and all of us are the unwitting or willing participants, however you want to look at it. We're all choosing to be involved. But I guess what the plan is like a History Channel type exclusive presentation where at some point they reveal that this has all been a test of people's gullibility. And they're going to expose the fact that the AE mapping model doesn't work, and that this was a show, that these were failed actors that were part of a modern day reality TV show type scenario. And they're going to expose all the gullible people that fell for Earth being flat. And that is how they intend to end this all. Having these popular channels just fold up shop, walk away, say, yep, we're on a globe. And, you know, thanks for participating in this reality TV show that we've been doing.
Yeah, basically it'll be the joke's on you. They're all going to close their channels down. They're going to do some stupid test where they drag a line through the water. And if it sags in the 3 mile distance, so the Earth's a ball. You know, there's multiple different things that's coming up, but I do agree with Jason that there is some kind of reality show that people are actively participating in. Unlike this show here that just went on where they called me and you out. Mark started saying karma, you're going to get karma. Because apparently there was, you know, a bunch of thumbs down, so they were all me, supposedly, which is hilarious. You know, it's just ridiculous. But, you know, going into the next clip, so Flat Earth Reset, he's been gone for a while, right? Again, I believe he's playing under what you could call casino rules. So I'm listening to his new video, and I agree with it. FE Corps members are trying to tell people that they can create a lie in their mind, and if they believe it enough and repeat it enough in their minds, they can beat a lie detector with it. And you know, leading all into what Jason's saying, that this is a reality show, and they're trying to convince people that the Earth is flat and you're on the AE map with the circling sun and moon above your heads, even though you're not. But they're trying to tell you to convince yourself, and they're trying to teach you. It's a horrible video, but here's what Flat Earth Reset just happened to throw into it.
Karen, Antonio, Bob, Jaron, all you are. I'll have more on Jaron and that joke of a clown, Jason. You know, you remember Jason and that other clown, their Yahawa or whatever. Wow, they both got dueling experiments, and they're both fucking ridiculous.
So, you know, I hope Flat Earth Reset can actually back that up. I said, what the heck is wrong with you? Don't compare us to crazy people at 833. What's sad is you hide from the fact that Jason and I destroyed Team Red's rhetoric and Sean Hufford in a debate. And we're now preparing to set a world record for the world's longest water level. And you're comparing us to clowns like Jaronism, who wants to stretch a string line out over 2 miles. Come on. And you know how Jaron debunked us with his supposed debunk? What did he tell you, Jason?
Well, yeah, gravity. Gravity is what's going to make the water in the tube do. Yeah, he's just going to say that gravity screws up the experiment.
Gravity
does.
So not only that, but you know, this guy calls us out, and he's got us blocked. This is blocked, right? Like, when I go back, it's blocked. Oh, it signed me back in. But we're blocked.
If you made up the story like you had a car accident.
You know, this is what people do, right? Like, what is, if I type in casino rules.
Yeah, make sure everybody understands this concept, what you're talking about.
I don't know if they'll have an actual.
Yeah, so if people haven't seen the water level experiment test, the video that I just put up, I put in there a clip from a hangout that Jaron was on recently on Nathan Oakley's, where he was talking about this proposed experiment of his, this 3 mile long fishing line that he wants to winch it tight and do this over a body of water. And if the line touches the water in the middle, then he's going to say that we're on a globe. So I put that into the video, and that's what this flat earth reset is comparing the water level test that Ronnie and I are proposing that involves 3 mile of hose and actual surveyor on site. He's comparing that experiment to Jaren's. And I mean, if you can't see the Shillery there, I'm sorry. It's just a little blatantly obvious. And Ronnie is going to add the, did you find the casino rules? How?
No, I can explain it in a couple ways. It's basically like if you see a group of people at playing a game of cards, you know, usually they're all playing against the dealer. But when someone else shows up and sits down at the table, all of a sudden 4 or 5 of those people are trying to block you, so a certain individual is going to win the game. And that's what we call what Flat Earth Reset's doing. He's basically, you know, comparing us. So he's against everything that we're against, but he does it miserably just by, you know, ad hominem attacking them and yelling and laughing at them. He's had a couple of good videos. But then as instantly we start doing fundraising to try and do this, prove the earth is flat with a Guinness World Record, and all these people start coming out of the woodworks. So they try to, you know, shill against Jaren and Bob, yet they say they share the exact same goal at defeating Jason and I. And it's really, really simple to see. Long string line. You know, you could never have a string line without it sagging. Like, trying to think of another image.
Look up cantonary. That's the term.
Can't.
CANTANARY. I think that might be it.
No, I don't think so.
Cantonary. Because that's what that one image is. That's like a trapeze. It's the shape that a line takes when it's suspended at the two ends. There's formulas that calculate it, and yeah, I guess they call it cantonary.
Yeah, well, it's just ridiculous for them to think that the comparison is ridiculous, right? Like, it's not even. This is a test that we can do here. This is what people actually do. See, the image that they're showing, this is exactly what we're trying to see. As you can see here, if the earth was a curved ball, if we strung this out at a beach and we put the water line at this one, Jason and our eyes 3 miles away, and we're marking this pole at 4.5 feet, not above, because it's 6 feet of drop. And we know that the earth is flat if they're both level at 4.5 feet from the sand, right? That's all it is. 3 miles apart.
Yeah, tricantenary is CATENARY.
1 second. CANTER.
Cat, CATENARY.
Oh, catenary.
Yep.
There we go. That's better. So they have to have these poles. Like, this is exactly what happens with any line due to the weight of the line, not due to gravity. The mass actually all hinges on this point. I just think it's ridiculous that Jaren thinks he can stretch a line out 3 miles. Like, it's ridiculous, man.
Well, imagine what would happen with we've all seen those high voltage power lines. Imagine if it was 3 mile gaps between those poles. I mean, even with the most high tensile strength line they have, do you think it's going to sag?
Yes. It's like it's the most retarded experiment you could ever do. Like the one we're proposing actually does what this graphic is showing right here. Like, you cannot miss that. You're leveling to make this level spot across. This is the most accurate way to do this.
Yeah, I mean, look at that curve right there. If you go back to that, That's depicting like Earth's curve, right? If Earth's curve,
Yes.
That's what's going to happen, and we're not going to have enough posts left.
We're going to be up here.
Yeah. If Earth is curved.
Yes. And you could do this at any distance. As long as look how basic this is, people. And you know what, Jason, when you came up with this idea, we had so many haters, and it instantly shows right away who the fake flat earthers are. It exposes them, because the ones who come out against this test are fake.
Well, and here's the thing. So, Patricia Steer, she lives in Houston, right there. So when we're planning on doing this test on Galveston Island, it is right
What's
there.
that, 45 minutes away?
Oh, probably 30 minutes.
And you drove to 2 of her meetups, to be a journalist, and also the first one you went there was to support her and to spread the news. It's not like we just turned on them. I supported her too until I realized what her agenda was. And, they've data mined the whole community, admitted that their app that they were getting everyone to use was taking all their information and data from them. Like, if people, that's not enough for you to understand. And they have contracts with the government.
Oh, there's so much that's been exposed. There's too much. I mean, I'm the one that called into question Pat being a 56 or 58-year-old woman. I seriously have some serious doubts that is a 56 to 58-year-old woman.
I don't know, man. All I know is that, their hashtag is same team. Yet when I go in there and say, let's put bygones to bygones, let's work together, all I get is nothing but hated on, it's super frustrating. So then go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I saw what you were saying when you went in there. You went in and we're trying to make peace with Bob of Globebusters, saying, hey, listen, there's no hard feelings. We don't hold any hard feelings against you. And then also, talking about how we won the flat earth debate against Res Rhetoric, which is a huge win for flat earth. And then he blocked you just like that. Bam.
And tried to state that we didn't win, even though when I asked him to provide one point that Red's Rhetoric or Sean made, one piece of evidence or one debunk of any of the things that we brought to the table, Bob didn't have an answer. He just wanted to call me gay, a bunch of other stuff. They all ganged up on me, and that's fine. That's fine. I've said my piece about them, and I'll continue to say it.
You want to keep going with
Yep.
some of your stuff?
So Ranty's come out since we started the Flat Earth test. The next day, they started a GoFundMe. Ranty needs you to buy him a P1000. Right? So what do you think, Jay?
You broke up when you were asking your question.
Ranty needs a P1000.
Yeah, don't we all? I sure would like to have one. I think you should have one too.
Well, but so he doesn't have a job, I guess. He doesn't have any money. He doesn't have any way to get his own P1000. He needs the Flat Earthers to buy him one. My issue is that nothing he does is actually beneficial for the Flat Earth. His evidence that he provides actually looks like he's trying to make it look like we live on a globe. So here's his video that he put out, I believe today or yesterday. New location where I can really smash the ball, Flat Earth. Let's have a look at this. This is being played under the Fair Use Act of 107, where we can criticize, educate, and teach people. See anything about this picture that's a little bit odd, Jay?
Well, yeah. I mean, this is the exact same kind of stuff that Timmy the Troll he likes to show. This is popular stuff to show, where it's evidence for curvature, right?
Well, they're trying to say that it is, right?
They're trying to say that it is.
So, and he's the one filming this crap, going out at high tide.
So this is from a new vantage point just outside of Fleetwood.
Standing somewhere offshore.
Right now I'm 4 feet above sea level.
So what do you think he tells people is the reason that we're seeing only parts of the buildings?
Oh, I've heard a long list of atmospheric refraction blocking, optical slanting,
biorefringent refraction, looming,
Phantom Morgana, Faraday effects.
That's right. It couldn't be that the buildings are outside of your circle of sight, and due to the fact that the tallest part of the building will be the last scene, that they're just on the edge of our circles, yet the bottom part has been obscured by the distance that we can see.
Mm-hmm.
You won't say that.
What this ranty character does is he shows things like that, and then he'll find situations where maybe it's farther than what we should see curvature-wise on a globe Earth. So he proposes this like it's a flat Earth proof, when he's actually showing, this footage of this. I guess they call it obscuring, right? The way that there should be more of the ships or buildings or whatever, that the bottom part of it's being hidden. But this goes directly to like what Ronnie has been saying, that this is how our circle of sight and perspective works. And that so something like that is beyond our circle of sight. Therefore, it's becoming hidden from the bottom up. So if he was a person that was really trying to support the truth and support flat Earth, what he would do is now elevate his position and show that there is none of this blocking whatsoever, and that it's simply a matter of a fact of elevation. So he doesn't need a P-1000. What he needs is a drone to show that all he has to do is raise his elevation and bring the whole hull and everything back into view.
That's right. That's right. And he talks like
And it's not Morgul Lighthouse at all. It's the lighthouse in Barrow-in-Furness.
So you can see how there's a ramp. You see how the water's ramping up? So that's how it works. Whatever our elevation is, the water ramps up. So he's like actually super low to the ground, right? And the water's ramping up to his actual circle of sight, being the fact that it's lowered. If he was to just pick the camera up, I wonder if he does. Maybe he does. Let's see.
The town hall of Barrow. Yeah, this looks a really nice place to film it from, actually. The tide's actually coming in.
So it's at high tide, right?
Really, really choppy. I'll show you my location.
So he zoomed out before he raised the camera. Oops. Now he raises it, because if he had have done that while he was zoomed in, we would have seen the entire objects that were being obstructed, probably.
So there it was, laying down on this.
He doesn't even have a tripod, but he wants you to buy him a $1,000 or $1,500 camera.
So that's about mid-body to there.
Mid-body. It would look like 8-10 feet, man. He set that whole entire thing up to do what he did.
So this guy right now doesn't use a tripod with his P900. All right, so it's bouncing all around. It's terribly wobbly. Now he's going to have more zoom, so his footage is going to actually look worse.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, he's got a tripod.
Well, the good thing about this position is that I can hold the camera underneath my hand, and as the tide comes in, I have a little rampway here where I can escape and go up there. So it's absolutely ideal.
No, the tide is absolutely against observations. That is the worst possible place and time to take a measurement from during tide. Do people not understand that? Is it just
it's intentional. He's trying to come up with a situation that makes it look like we're on a globe the most.
The most.
I should be able to get much steadier shots, and I should be able to get really, really accurate measurements.
Unbelievable, this guy, man. So yeah, you know, I just wanted to point it out that this is the kind of people we're up against. This is a Freemason who says that
teaches. I'm going to take this in the same stance as religion. I don't get into what you believe. All I'm going to do is try to relate to everybody what Freemasonry actually teaches. And all I can do is point you right back to the second section.
Look at that. He's got the skull right here, right? Like Rob Skiba.
Of the Fellowcrafts degree, wherein it says, the globes are two artificial spherical bodies on the convex surface of which are represented.
I find it funny that it said artificial. Right? You see that?
Yeah.
Isn't that really interesting? Two artificial spherical bodies. Why do they say artificial?
Because they're not real.
The countries, seas, and various parts of the earth, the face of the heavens, the planetary revolutions, and other particulars. There is but one way to understand the word spherical. It is a three-dimensional circle. Period. Freemasonry teaches that the earth is round, and that is that. We continually use the word spherical or globe to represent the earth. Now, we again find ourselves in the inevitable catch-22 of anybody who is out there that says Freemasons teach flat earth. Are going to say I'm just lying, that everything I'm saying is just a part of the cover-up. Well, fine, whatever. I'm a Mason.
This guy absolutely loves blue, eh? Look at this.
Yeah.
Blue and gold. But yeah, I just find it interesting that we got Freemasons coming out putting the hashtag flat earth, which looks like is a really bad hashtag. I'm doing the research because I've been trying to use it myself. When you search hashtag flat earth, you don't get too many videos. Like you see channels with 2,000 or 3,000 or 4,500 only getting 200 views. Like, does that make any sense? Just about every single one under this hashtag flat earth. This is a good one. 275, 300, 300. Again, another Carly Sunshine's got 119 views. This guy got 6,000. Oh, look who it is, Dearth. See, he's the only one with like a high amount of, and that Freemasonry guy actually got 2,000. But it's just insane. So,
hey,
I don't know if there was. I just wanted to point that out as not too many people are ranking high with using these tags. It almost seems like maybe they're blocking the searches. Oh, here we go. Here's some new. Look at this. Oh, this is updated. Channel 4. ODD's back. Look at that. But 2 years ago. Bro Sanchez. Not bad, not bad. And the other thing, oh, look at that. Nathan. Wow. Nathan's up there. Look at that, man. He's getting super promoted. Oh, cancerous conspirators. I guess this is not a good video about Nathan, who doesn't believe in math. So he's getting called out because he doesn't believe in math. A lot of the math is fake. But the big talk, though, this week was everyone who uploaded that Buzz Aldrin The we didn't go to the moon that's been taken out of context. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, well, probably most people have heard about the Buzz Aldrin "we didn't go to the moon" thing. So many channels just like pounced on it, and everybody was uploading it. And I had no interest in publishing it. For one, I don't like anything from celebrities whatsoever. You know, if they're a basketball star, or if they're a music celebrity, if they're any sort of celebrity ship, and that includes astronauts, anything from the media, I don't like it. I know that it's all controlled information from the get-go. Like everything that comes across all the major players, you know, Fox, NBC, CBS, ABC, BBC, you name it, everything that's presented is controlled and made up and propaganda. And so to have some astronaut say that he didn't go to the moon is like, it's all controlled information anyway. So neither of us were interested in promoting it at all. But I mean, you've seen so many times how using a clip like that has ended up getting people's channels struck. And
okay, so it's a different angle. But what, you know, I didn't use the clip because I didn't feel that in the context of what was said, that he was really even saying that. He was asked if why we haven't gone back to the moon, and he said, you know, that's my question. And he is vehemently known for bashing the government, bashing the people, saying that we need more money, we need more, people need to invest in NASA. So he was saying, that's my question. And then he said, you know, just because we didn't go, he meant because we haven't gone back. She asked, why haven't you gone back? And he said, just because we didn't go, that's what happened. We didn't go. We didn't go back. And then he says, money. So then you do a little more research. You find out this clip is over 3 years old, right? And then on top of that, there's this new policy when you upload videos now where it talks about using minors in your video. So they got, this is an easy setup. So what they do is they get truth communities all to multiply upload videos. Everybody mirror this. Everyone mirror this. So everybody mirrors it. And then what the other team does is they go around and flag it. And it's set up to be flagged down. And then you get put into this corner of this, what we're calling sandbox. This is Jason and I have been censored for over 1.5 years, hardcore. We used to get 10 to 20,000 views a video. Now we get in the hundreds, right? Even when we pay, you know, they boosted our videos and shared them on a few different platforms, and then they won't let us do that anymore. So the main thing is to get these channel strikes. And someone like Robbie Davidson was the first one to go. And he's live streaming while telling people that he's got the strike, which is supposed to mean that you're not allowed to live stream. But he says, oh, but I have 50,000 subscribers, so that means that they still allow me to live stream. And then boom, 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 you start seeing Nathan Roberts, this other channel, another channel. They're all getting ODD. Everybody's getting strikes, right? And now they can't live stream for 3 months, which that was half of Nathan's channel was live streaming, right? He was the street preacher and took his family out. Now he can't do that. So all it is a setup. So, you know, and it, again, the other side gets to go, look how stupid these people who think they're above us. So everything that you see guys like David Weiss, D.Marble, Richie from Boston, at all these levels, when you see guys like, here, I'm just going to read them off. Jeranism, Ranty Flat Earth Reset, Nathan Oakley 1980, Nathan Roberts, Your Curveless Earth, Daniel Pratt, Reshaping Our World, DITRH, Mr. Thrive and Survive, Flat Earth and Other Hot Potatoes, Mark Sargent, Globebusters, Jake the A-Hole, Lawrence Wright, Flat Earth Conspiracy, Lori Frary, QNF, and Coyote Sky. All these people here are actively trying to mock and ridicule the actual people who believe the earth is flat, so that the people that are trying to provide these psyops can go, see, you guys are stupid. Patricia Steer actually has people following her to think her and Mark are actually in this for the truth, when they're like, all they've done is super add negativity to the flat earth. They've been in the news multiple times doing the most stupidest things, like yelling, "We're not crazy." The whole flat earth conferences, were the ones that they've done, have been all staged. Mark wore these retarded blue glasses. She went out like some princess queen, this white dress on at a friggin' conference. Everyone was in t-shirts. She goes out like she's at the Oscars. Jaron does multiple tests that fail, even though he's told by the entire truth community, "Hey, man, can't test with a laser because the beam spreads like in 100 meters, man. You can't shoot at 7 or 6 or 5 or 3 or even 1 mile and get a measurement." Jaron goes ahead with it, totally falls on his face. Again, he then tried to do an experiment. Supposedly that one made the documentary. Bob from Globebusters has supposedly proven that the gyroscope processes 15 degrees an hour or whatever. So, you know, everyone who sees anything that Globebusters, Jaron, Patricia Steer, or Mark Sargent do is absolutely, without a doubt, 100% negative against the truth movement. And yet they still have people following them, and they literally tell you, "Oh, you know, the documentary is called Behind the Curve, and we know that that means that you're all stupid." And in the documentary, they actually mock the people in the chats, in the comments. They actually say that they're all suffering from a mental disorder called the Dunning-Kruger effect. Then they literally have these people out here proving their point. They're absolutely making it look like that. And Mark will type in the chat "winning" when they have like crazy people on their shows. He'll be like "winning," and they're absolutely destroying the flat earth. Jason and I winning that debate against Red's Rhetoric and actually bringing back Globe debunks. It's the first time that's happened in over 2 years, let's say. At least, no, okay, 1 year. I don't lie. I'll correct myself. It's been at least a year. Jason?
Well, when we forced their hand, like now all of a sudden Pat and Mark had to actually talk about flat earth proofs for like the first time in a year, because we put all these flat earth proofs out and showed that there was no evidence for the globe against the top 2 globe earth debaters in the world, and really like humiliated them. They had nothing. They were just bah! And so these people all expose themselves over and over and over again. And you know, and there's nothing new under the sun. For some odd reason, you know, people have this herd mentality where they just want to go wherever the largest channel is, and so they flock to these channels. And even though the model that they propose is impossible, and even though they are directly connected to the media coverage of flat earth that's all negative, absolutely completely negative, you know, people that call themselves flat earthers choose their side, as opposed to you know, we're the alternative. We have the working map and model, and we're Christians. We've gone so far as to figure out who it is that created this world. And you know, I guess for those couple things, knowing that we're in a simulation and knowing who created it, that to me is the truth that all these other people are out here to hide. And so at all costs, they are going to do everything they can to resist us, mock us, hold us down. And
yeah, like Bob saying that we lost that debate. If someone's willing to say that a flat earth lost when it absolutely destroyed them, what does that tell you about their loyalty?
Yeah, well, and they promote these guys like the Ranty that you were showing, who literally photoshops in curvature to much of his work. And the other work that isn't photoshopped, he's providing stuff that heliocentric people would love as evidence, because it's cherry-picked to support that we're on a ball. And he does this all for what's supposedly a flat earth debate channel, which is nothing but a pure echo chamber where the exact same people show up in the chat each and every day, faithfully, on time. They punch their clock. They come in, they take their positions, and like a perfectly true echo chamber, they just fake fight amongst each other over fake evidence. And they'll do this for a couple hours every day. And this is what solidifies in people's minds the idea that there's some sort of real debate taking place. But nothing could be further from the case. All they're doing is entering this faked evidence into the collective, into the narrative. And then once they've argued over a piece of fake evidence for a while, and one side or the other claims victory, then everybody goes back and says, hey, but this was established on this show. And everybody just misses the fact that it's not even real evidence, that it was forged evidence to begin with.
Every part that they bring to the table is like trying to obfuscate reality so that they can have this ongoing, never-ending debate, because if you do something that's disingenuous and that uses obfuscations, then you're never going to find the truth. There's one last thing I want to point out before I throw it over to you. We had this battle, this Flat Earth Crush guy. He is a big Patricia Steere fan. Like, at the end of the day, like I stated, even when I was there, I said, hey to everybody, you know, I hope you guys all see the absolute destroying of Red's rhetoric. Like, I don't hate Pat Steere. So I don't hate these people. I want the truth. That's it. Flat Earth Crush, who we battled a bit, comes over and leaves a comment. I know we haven't always seen eye to eye in the past, but I genuinely hope you get the chance to conduct this water test. Good luck. That is truth, okay? Someone who's willing to go outside, just like Jason and I, when someone speaks truth, we promote it. We don't care what you've done, what you said. We follow our Father in heaven, okay? I thank you so very much. May the truth be with us all. A huge respect for this guy. Huge respect. He wants to see that the earth is proven to be flat or round. He's willing to go outside of the groupthink mentality that everyone's been programmed to be in. This guy might not be suffering from the Dunning-Kruger effect, I'm willing to state. Thank you, Flat Earth Crush.
Yeah, I mean, let's say it wasn't us that had come up with the water level experiment. Let's say it was us that had come up with trying to stretch a string for 3 miles over a body of water. And it was Jaron that came up with the water hose experiment. You and I would have both gone, hey, you know what? Their experiment's going to be a lot more easy to do, right? It's going to eliminate all the error possible. And, you know, it's going to be cheap. It's going to be easy to find a location to do it. And, yeah, I would have contributed to it even if Jaron was the one that had proposed it, because it just makes sense as a good experiment. But no, it's just not what these popular flat earth channels are about. Not a one of them mentioned it the first time we organized it. And it looks like they probably won't again this time. But
sad though that nobody's sharing it up, brother.
Well, this is where I call out to the people that, you know, listen and hear this message right here. You know, if you've been supporting one of these, you know, some larger popular flat earth channel, if you've been supporting them, none of these channels have ever provided, you know, a definitive proof experiment for you to just show people, hey, look, this absolutely demonstrates Earth is flat. It's done. It's settled. You know, make them come up with some experiment whatsoever. And if they can't come up with one that's better, get them to support this one. Let them know that, hey, you're not a flat earther if you're not getting behind an experiment that proves Earth is flat. And you know what? I said this earlier to you today, and I mean it. If there's anybody out there that that believes Jaron has the better experiment, I would love to see 1,000 people or 10,000 people, if they could all contribute, you know, $50, $100. If we could get Jaron a couple $100,000 to run his fishing line experiment, and even if the materials only cost him a few $1,000s, he can just pocket the rest of it. I'd like to see him actually run the experiment and just come out and tell everybody, hey, listen, we're on a ball, and he can walk away, pocket, you know, the extra couple $100,000, and that's it. He's out of flat Earth because he believes he's on a ball. So I say we get him funded.
Yeah, I'm with you, brother. Because not much is going to happen. We want to do this test. We'll still take the time because we've committed to doing it. We'll still go down and film things and test things as well. We've got experiments with the drone, with the camera. We're not going to. We'd like for people to send the money. We only need, if we can find. One of the biggest costs is paying the surveyor, right, Jay?
That is the main thing. So if there was somebody, a flat earther that had credentials that wanted to get behind this and be a part of it, that right there would eliminate the biggest chunk of outlay other than the pipe. And the pipe we plan on reselling and getting as much money back as possible. So it's really the surveyor that it's going to cost us the most. It's not refundable. So yeah, I mean, if somebody wanted to be a part of it, that would be the best. Yahawashai, that a person like that hear this message and want to get involved. I pray that somebody is they own a irrigation pipe warehouse and that they've got just miles and miles of pipe that they'll let us use and we'll return it to them. Right, because all we're going to do is put a couple fittings on and take them off. Can we borrow your pipe for a day and we'll bring it back to you?
Yeah, you're just trying to come up with a possibility no matter what. If we don't get the fundings, we still want to run this test really bad. We've wanted to run it for over a year. And due to your honesty, you had over $3,000 collected and we refunded the money because you didn't want to hold on to it, which I super find you up and above and beyond. Like, imagine any other flat earther. They would have CGI'd the test, right then and there. And go figure, it would have been, we live on a ball if they ran it. But I definitely think there's no one that's ever built a 3-mile water level. So right there, we know that that's a world record setter. Even if we document it and have multiple people to verify it with the surveyors, even if Guinness doesn't want to get involved, we'll still have that published online, all the verifications, all the angles. And if we measure, like my icon's showing, if we're 3 miles away and our board has a mark on it like 4.5 feet, and we're on this board 3.5 miles, 3 miles away, and it says 4.5 feet, this will mean that we are on a flat plane. This is irrefutable, definitive proof that you live on a flat earth. And all it takes is a 3-mile piece of hose and some water and a pump, 3 posts and a land surveyor. And I know the globe earthers are just absolutely, because anyone in the world can go to the beach and see the 3 miles, because you can see 3 miles from 6 feet high. It's flat. It's perfectly flat by the eye. And we know that when we build things, you can see if something's curved or flat. It's pretty easy. And I know you're going to get into some modeling, Jason, but like I said, you got the 3-mile water test that I have right here. And to donate to it, everybody that goes to Jason Laufenberg at Mac.com, that's JASON LAUFENBERG, Laufenberg at Mac.com. It's all registered there. Everybody's going to get their, we have multiple different ways that we wanted to do it. We wanted to, even if people want to leave their money with the test, we could cut up the pipe to all the people that donated, and we can actually send them a piece of the world record pipe. There's your piece of the world record pipe. And you could do your own little water level thing in your backyard, and then you could upload that as a video to your channel. But this is actually going to be irrefutable proof. This is better than the Bedford level area. People in the UK, if you any of you guys out there, Nathan Oakley, you guys can do this test too. The Bedford level is perfect. You got the water. You can run it right alongside the water, the test. You can even do it in the water. You can hold the water level up at the side of a bridge and there's a 3 mile, and then there's another bridge there because that's where Bedford they did the Robotham experiments. Take the test and do it. So we don't, if we can't do it, but you got to be honest about it. But yeah, please, people get involved. You said there was a deadline to this.
August 24th, so that if we made funding by then that'll give us time to get the hose and make sure that we have the surveyor under contract. So we're going to have to give them at least a week heads up that whoever it is that we find that's willing to do it. And we've left in the budget a decent budget where even though it's Labor Day weekend, I'm pretty confident that we'll be able to get a surveyor crew out. Because I left $2,000 in the budget, and this is going to be an easy job where it's probably going to be a half a day thing on the beach, out on Galveston Island. So I'm sure somebody could work it into their day and make a bunch of coin. But that's the reason why we'd like to have somebody donate their time to save the community that money if possible. Let's see here. Do you have anything else that you wanted to cover right now?
No, that's it, brother.
Okay. Let me get a screen share going. Actually, if you could just cover for a second, I'll be right back. I got to grab something more to drink.
Sure. So yeah, hopefully that we can get something like this going. And yeah, be careful. Don't upload videos with children in them, unless they're your kids. You're just asking for copyright strikes. Who's all in the chat? When did I lose my? Let's see here. How's everybody doing tonight? Is everyone having an okay week, or is it a tough week? Are you under satanic? Oh, this is funny. So yeah, Jason's almost back. Shout out to who I see quickly in the chat. Yahweh's daughter, Anthony B, Dimitri K, Dick Flinginghammer. Okay, Twitwit. Shout out to Twitwit. Hopefully you were there when we destroyed Reds. Stephen Devacau, good to see you. Thanks everybody for being here. Tommy Rogers, Elias. Shout outs to everybody. Yeah, we really truly love you guys. And hopefully we can get this test going. Who's getting triggered? Somebody? Were you getting triggered, Jay? I wasn't getting triggered.
I don't know about triggeredness. What triggeredness is happening?
I don't know. Maybe this is. I block this guy. He's okay. Sure, there are Jews that lie, but there's every race that lies. Jason and I don't believe that there's only one group of people. There's the Jesuits, there's all of the different Illuminati bloodline families, and a whole host of Freemasonic, Knights of the Templar, Jesuit type sororities that are all battling to be top Satanists. You can't pin. Everybody says it's the Jews, I'm hearing like there's all these documentaries being made now about the Ashkenazis as being higher intellect than everyone else and all this other crap. And it's like, I don't know, man. I bet you there's smart people in every race, But take it over, brother.
Oh. Getting a call.
Yeah, if it's Coyote Skies, I don't want to talk to that guy no more. He proves himself to be dumb. You can talk to him.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail.
Hello, you are live on Awake Souls.
Hey, what's going on, Jason?
Hey, who's calling?
It's Eli.
Hey, how's it going?
Say hi to you guys.
That's awesome.
So I was thinking, you know how basically you guys put together how the beginning of the flat Earth and everything was started by the Freemasons and all that with Jared and all them.
Exactly.
Have you come up with an idea as to why you think
You forgot to put it through the good sound, bro. Have him call back. Run it through your computer.
in the first place? Why not just let the globe
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
run its course?
Hey, Elias, can I get you to call back in just a second? I'm gonna try to pick you up through the audio in the computer instead of off my phone. I think we'll be able to hear you better.
Okay, do I call the same number?
Yeah, just call back in like 30 seconds.
All right, that's cool. Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah, just in the meantime, I just wanted to mention, we're not wasting our time with that Coyote Skies guy because he needs to come back with actual observations that Jason asked him to do. We're not here for games. We're here for truth, right? Jason asked him if your circle of sight enlarged when you raised your altitude, and he played coy, and he just wants to parrot and echo chamber the things like QNP and Dan Pratt say. Like, we don't have time for that. We're here for the truth.
Yeah, well, and that's what I told him tonight. He's like, "Are you going to hang up on me again?" And my response was, "Yeah, unless if you're going to like contribute to the conversation. If you're here to just chide and rail against us and try to,
well, he thinks we're afraid of him. He made a video and he said that we were scared of him, right? Because I didn't want to talk to him. I didn't want to talk to him because Q is a disgusting, sick person. And you're in here spewing his lies. Like we already know the game. Like you exposed yourself the first time you called.
Well, I recognized him. I talked to him a while ago, and the stuff that they're into, they're all into the orbs. They just love seeing orbs everywhere, and he's. He does not want to admit that the creator of this world is the God of the Bible. That's all he's doing is trying to fight against that. That's his big thing.
Well, that's what I noticed too, brothers and sisters. Almost every single person that's against Jason and I are atheists or Satanists in some way. You know, it's incredible, right? Like, and not just us saying that. They're out and outright non-religious. Ranty, Patricia Steer, Mark. They're proud of not having it. You should have heard them at the conference last year. They vehemently said they are not Christian, right? The documentary had no Christianity in it. They made sure of that. But the documentary had no flat earth proofs, right? Hello, door number one.
All right, so hopefully we get Elias calling back here soon. I think I'm ready for it. And then the other thing that I was going to be getting into is this stuff from D.Marble. And it's because of a video that I saw him put out today. This one right here. Why doesn't the sun shrink as it sets? Oh, here we go.
Sounds great.
Hello, you are live on Awake Souls.
Hey, it's Eli. Are you is it good? Is it better now?
I think this should be really good.
All right. What I was wondering is, what I've been scratching my head about for the last few weeks is, why in the world did they initiate the flat Earth thing just to discredit it later on? You think they did all that just to try to discredit the Bible?
I do. And it's a conclusion that I came to long time ago. Like right after I realized that the AE map and model didn't work, and I started going around letting all the popular channels know. I knew that this was biblical. Now it's only become more and more confirmed as time's gone on. You know, Ronnie and I have seen like this new wave of people that say that they're Christians, and all they do is try to tie flat Earth to the AE map and model, that domed, ice-walled cosmology, and
right.
And they work so hard to do it. And it's so weird. You've got guys like Robbie Davidson, who says he's Christian, and the first Flat Earth meetup was, there's a lot of Christianity in it. It had the D.Marble and stuff, but it was surrounded by all these people that absolutely deny Christianity, and it's just been such a weird hodgepodge mix. It really hasn't made any sense. So this plan goes back all the way to King James Bible. King James.
Okay.
King James, that Bible was already, the few mistranslations in there. In general, the King James is pretty good, but the few mistranslations are related to Earth cosmology type situations.
Right.
And so the setup came from Freemasonry all the way back then. So
and that makes sense. That makes sense. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, well, I mean, so it's always been this false dichotomy that Satan's always played, where they always control both sides of the narrative. It's a false dichotomy. It's neither this, it's neither that. It's this third option that everybody is steered away from looking at. And so the Jesuit model, the heliocentric model, is some 500 years old. So is the AE map model in many ways. And well, it's a little bit more current, but the Zetetic Society is a Freemasonry society. And surely you've seen it by now that a lot of these people identify as Freemasonries either openly or covertly through the use of the 33s and the hand signs and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I noticed that even with Rob Sieber, like 9 months ago, he was talking about being Zetetic agnostic when he first started, and then he said that he came back into the faith through Flat Earth. But he mentioned that he was Zetetic agnostic, and I didn't know what Zetetic meant until I didn't even know that word existed until he said it. And it made me wonder, like, what is Zetetic? So what does that just mean? Like scientific, like tried and you can repeat the trials? Or what does Zetetic actually mean?
Yeah, it's Zetetic is like a testable, verifiable, but the people that co-opted that term and named themselves Zetetic societies were like Freemason debate clubs that
okay,
just like we have going on right now, Ronnie and I versus Reg Rhetoric and Sean Hufford, this has played out throughout history over and over and over. So there were the people that were having the flat earth versus globe debates, and the Zetetic societies were the ones that were promoting that AE map and model. And so they were going up against the heliocentrists and real flat earthers. We forget that there were actual people that, didn't think that they were spinning and moving around.
Well, I noticed two things actually. One, you remember that day you spontaneously did a live show and everybody came out of the woodwork out of nowhere and jumped in on there, like, Flat Earth and other hot potatoes, Patricia Steer, just like everybody showed up out of nowhere, just and hopped on there, and there was a whole bunch of audio issues. You guys were on another platform on somebody else's channel or something, or using a different setup.
Just a second, Ronnie remembers it. I know you can't hear him, but do you remember what he's talking about, Ronnie?
Yeah, that was the day that
it was maybe 2 weeks ago. It was during the middle of the day during the work week. I remember I was at work, and it was just some type of audio where like a third of all the audio was just completely cut out. And but it just seemed like in the middle of the day, you guys started up a hangout, and then everybody came out of the woodwork and just jumped on there. And the funny thing is that as much as nobody really brings up your guys' name, except for the guy on Globebusters, he has a couple of times, but other than him, nobody ever brings you up, as if they don't acknowledge you, nobody's going to find you type of thing. And I think that's why they do that. But at the same time, you got to be having a massive effect for in the middle of the work week, like at what was it, like 1:30 or something, you start up a chat and people are just coming out of nowhere and jumping on it just to hear what's going on. To let you know that you're truly making a mark, whether they want to acknowledge it or not. I mean, the Truther Society, the Truther movement itself is, I mean, we talked about it, so like 100 people or 100 groups with, you know, however many people per group. But it's not that many, you know, so really, you know, you guys are making a bigger splash than everybody acknowledges, even if they don't try to acknowledge you. The simple fact is that, you know, if Red Rhetoric and them are going to be willing to debate you and whatnot, you know, that shows that you are making a dent, and that whether they want to say it or not, that, you know, you guys got them reeling back where they want to try to take you on and shut you down quickly before you get any more wind behind your sails. But what that showed me when you see the debate, because I watched you guys debate, and what I seen that really upset me on the debate, it seemed like once you guys presented your evidences and your proofs, instead of them, it's like they did not want to answer,
ignored it,
what you said. Instead, they just talked about what they wanted to talk about, and they didn't really respond to what you said. So it's almost as if they went to a debate with you, but they never debated you. They just let you do your presentation, and they just made theirs until the time ran out. Because I remember you guys at the end where you was like, well, do you want to, you was asking Ronnie if he wanted to do any more, and he was like, you know, like, I guess, you know, like, really got much more to say. They're not presenting anything. They're not showing any evidence. And it wasn't like they were even trying. It's almost like they were trying to tie you up. You know what I mean? And they had all those people in there that were supporting them. So, of course, you know, being on the home turf, you know, they automatically try to say that they won, but they never even debated your proofs. And the one thing that got me was they said that they had the drone and it went up in the air and somehow they made the land that the horizon somehow tilted 0.6 degrees.
Yeah.
Right? And but see, how can you verify that the drone itself didn't nose up? You know what I mean?
Yeah. We're looking into that.
All you gotta do is nose up on the drone 0.6 degrees, and now the horizon has fell down 0.6 degrees. You know what I'm saying? See, really, to do that, you have to have a level, a visual, like a spirit level or something on that drone, and you have to have another drone show that that drone is level in the middle of the flight by the other drone. So basically, that they have two feeds. One of the drone showing the other drone to be level when it takes its shot.
Yeah,
because you can't just
and
say,
the calibration of the gimbal has to be dead on perfect as well. So like, it's, you know, because the gimbal,
you got high winds and everything. Yeah, there's no way that you can. There's no way you can count 0.6 degrees at whatever feet that they say that it was. Like, it just seemed real thin, and you know, and they try to say that was evidence, and it's like, you know, there are so many holes in that you can't use that. It's not no way to verify that was actually straight up and down, you know, and so it just makes you wonder, like, what is their plan or their move now? Because obviously you've shown that the string thing is retarded for Jaren to try to do that. If there's going to be slack in the rope, there's no way that they can winch that string to be perfectly straight. You know what I mean? And he still hasn't recanted and answered what you said. And I know that, I mean, everybody knows that he obviously has heard the holes that you put in his experiment. So that makes me wonder, that's the same thing. So they're debating you, or they're not agreeing with you, but when you say something, they don't have any comeback for what you say. You know what I'm saying? So,
well, they can say that we're clowns.
Yeah, but that's not, you know, That's that's nothing. It makes me wonder. But then that brings into question other channels. Like, have you ever checked out that one guy, Feed Your Mind or whatever? Him. He never shows his face, but he's one of the guys that runs along with him. And he was one of the first guys I listened to, and I always wondered, like, is he part of their group as well? Is he just, or is he just trying to bring in, like, kind of like D.Marble, bring in, like, the black side? Basically, he represents, the rounded out culture. So they say, they got everybody on their team. That's why they do that. So maybe they make multiple channels, but they're really part of the same group. They just pretend to be their own people, their own channels, but really they collaborate together. Because you'll see, it's not necessarily now, but in late 2017, basically all of 2017, there was trends. So whenever one proof was found, everybody would go along with that proof, just like whenever there's something new that pops up, like the Buzz Aldrin basically admitting to the 8-year-old girl that they never went to the moon. And it makes you wonder, like, do they basically parcel it out and say, okay, we're going to do a piece on this information now, and then a week from now you do it, and then a week from now you do it, and a week from now you do it on your channel. So basically they get everybody, they just reinforce it and repeat it. They use that repeat tactic where they continually say the same thing over and over until finally they seem to came across as a unanimous agreement about something, just like the whole ice wall. Like, I believed the ice wall when I first heard it because it seemed like everybody was in agreement with it, and there was no way I could fact check them and go to Antarctica and check. So it's like, well, all these guys must have researched it, and they must have came across this footage or whatever with the ice wall and the dome, and
it turns out that there was like 5 or 6 pictures, and just everybody shared it, right?
Right, and it's skeptical at best because some of the pictures are, they're just awkward shots. You don't have any reference to 360 degrees or where they are on a map or when was the picture or who took it or nothing. They're just like weird, pictures that could have been photoshopped or could have been anywhere. You don't even know really where it is. So it's just like, more like an illustration to an idea than footage of a fact. You know what I'm saying? And it just makes me wonder, what is their big plan now? Because basically, Ronnie have taken the wind out of their sails. They can sit there and pretend like, they can keep going on as everything is. But at the end of the day, you see Globebusters and them starting to take on the whole simulation idea themselves. You see them talking less and less about being a dome firmament and doing weird things like talking about an electrical universe or whatever, which I don't understand what that is supposed to mean. And you got like other people, they're just like, it's like they're not so adamant about the ice wall. They're not so adamant about the AE map. They're not so adamant about the dome, They're not so adamant about all that stuff. And it's like, you can see the effects of now they got to kind of watch what they say, and they don't have the level and power of influence that they used to have 6 months ago. And that's just from my observation. Obviously, I'm just one person. I could be missing a lot of stuff. I only got so much time. And to be honest, it's hard to watch Globebusters. I mean, they're 2 hours, 3 hours long, and they hash over the same stuff over and over. One episode can be just like the next one. And I don't watch Flat Earth and Hot Potatoes. I watched like 2 videos from them, and I couldn't do it anymore. So You know, it's just not too. It's not. It's so sensationalized. Like Mark Sargent, he likes to bring on military people, you know, and ex-military, military people to talk about the flat Earth. And I respect what he does in that respect, but it's almost like there's no point to it because he doesn't have the Christian aspect. And you know, he even went in one time. He went to a national museum where they're talking about he was with Patricia, and they went up to this old rocket. I guess it was a Titan rocket or something like that on its side. It was just a museum. And he was talking about how America was tricking its people, and they created this big old story about going to space to basically create national pride and to get money. So it's like he touched on the surface about the level of deception the government was using against the people on that one show. But at the same time, how can you say your mouth on one end that our government is deceiving us and we're basically being treated like goyim or cattle or pawns, you know? But at the other hand of things, you don't have any, he doesn't seem to have that same attitude, like distrust for the government or anything like that. You know, he just seems to be very patriotic on the other side. You know what I'm saying? So how can he be patriotic and distrustful of the government? You know what I'm saying? It's just the conflict, I think, of the message.
Oh, man, there's so many conflicts. It's ridiculous. You know, Mark Sargent was the one that, you know, with his clues and everything, he was the one that was saying that we're in a simulation from the get-go. I mean, that's what he was selling on radio shows before, you know, Flat Earth started to take off. He said he was a video game programmer, and from a game design standpoint, he talked that talk for a long time, and then he, you know, switched gears and was just all Dome Truman style. And his part of the narrative, like, he has to promote that nukes are real. He's got the Admiral Byrd side where, you know, Admiral Byrd went to the Antarctica and they were firing nuclear.
Operation Fishbowl?
Yeah, Operation Fishbowl.
Oh, yeah, for Fishbowl and Dominic. Right. You're right.
I jumped.
And so what, now that you say that, what do you think that those operations were if they weren't real nukes?
Just a story, probably.
Maybe TNT.
Okay. Because, see, what I'm trying to put together and try to figure out is basically, obviously, those channels are COINTEL. So their goal is to disprove the Bible. But that's already laid out there, so that's already known. So then they have to do another move. So they either got to fake evidence of something serious or waffle on until it dies. You know what I'm saying? Just ride it until the horse falls over. Which could possibly be what it is. They're just going to keep trying to sell T-shirts and stuff like that and just try to get as much money as they can until it just flops. You know what I mean? As far as on their end.
Well,
but
there might be a big reveal that comes out where, you know, say like on the History Channel or something like that, all of a sudden we see the flat Earth, you know, like it'll be a TV show or something like that, and all of a sudden we'll see these people, we'll see ourselves, some of us in it, and
it just becomes TV.
Yeah, and that well, it'll be exposed that the map model never worked, that the people, you know, like the Marks, the Pats, these people were all part of a reality TV show. You know, like we were naming before this, the Roland Reddy guy, what is his name? Rick Hummer, failed actor. Rob Skiba, failed actor. Right. Just going
Math
on
Powerland.
and on. Yeah, Math Powerland, failed actor.
There's way more. Jake.
And yeah, and like Rob Skiba, okay, I actually like a lot of his stuff. Don't get me wrong. I liked a lot of his stuff because he went into Genesis 6 and Nephilim. And then obvious where he was going with that, because when he started to make that seed show, that's what he became consumed with. And then he got called out by, God, what is his name? He went to jail and he came against the flat earth, but he was really good about talking about how the government was deceiving us and the Bible is literal, but he still believes in the heliocentric model. I can't remember his name.
Santos?
But he's
Santos
about
Bonacci or no?
No, not Bonacci. This guy, he is a Christian who believes in the Bible literally. And he was actually talking about the Illuminati and the powers that be that run things and the Great Deception and all that. But then when he went to prison and he came back, he found out about the Flat Earth movement, and he is literally going up against Rob Stieber in a debate sometime in the near future.
Ken Hovind.
To defend heliocentric.
Ken
Hovind. Is it Ken Hovind?
Ken Hovind. That's it, yeah. So, like, people like Ken Hovind, okay, and Ken Ham, and these creationists who still believe in the Copernican model. So you got these guys here who are more, I don't know what to say. They, even though that their outlook is wrong, they actually seem more genuine about what they believe in than, say, like Mark Sargent and them, who believe in the flat earth, but they are not quote unquote Christians or, you know, independent Bible researchers like us. You know what I mean? So you got basically these three camps. You represent one camp, and then you got these other two where you have Bible literalists who believe in the Copernican model, and then you got flat earthers who just so happen to be leaning towards the Bible, but they always got some compromise, whether they're in a Masonic order or something like that, or they're in it for the money or whatever. So basically, you got another two dichotomy where you're either a Bible literalist who believes in Copernican, or you're a flat earther who's a general Bible believer, but you're not, you don't literally believe in Jesus and Yahawashai. You know what I mean? And now, so it seems like
they want everybody subdivided into these smallest groups so that real truth seekers are separated from each other and just surrounded by nothing but satanic shells.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I think that's what it gets down to. It's to try to make it so that there's not an actual true quote-unquote Christian movement where there's actual confrontation with, you know, the school system and the powers that be and the scientists, where we say, hey, you know, you cannot no longer teach this stuff to our children in school and take our tax money to do so. You know what I mean? There's no way to stand up and say, hey, this is basically treason. You know what I'm saying? If you're saying that we can't bring God into school, but you're bringing this other religion in, and you're forcing people to regurgitate it, and they cannot get a degree based upon the fact that they don't regurgitate your information that's not proven, it's just theories, then that is forced education, and basically is like mind control. You know what I mean?
Well, I see where you're going with this, but just follow me on this one quick. I'm not trying to take up a lot of time. Sorry.
As
a group of Christians, if we want to stand up against school systems and stuff like that, it's going to take a lot of us, and you know, that right there would be a huge fight just to get Christianity back into the school system.
No way that's going to happen. This is ridiculous.
To take away the heliocentric model and stuff like that. In fact, what Ronnie and I have been saying is we're so close to the end times that you know, Christians are no longer going to have the ability to buy or sell in this world. it's not gonna be that much longer, and they're gonna be cutting us off. Or well, they'll be giving us the option. Take the mark, and you can buy and sell with us. Don't take the mark, and you're cut out. You're excluded. So the thing that I want true Christians to prep for is to be able to rely on each other and to get through this great tribulation, helping each other out, because it's going to be just us against the world.
Right. You're absolutely right. Have you guys bought your sackcloth outfit?
I did some shopping on Amazon. I need some more jobs to come in right now. We're actually sitting on our thumbs a little bit, and but yeah, I would like to get a sewing machine, and I'm looking at some real nice, like hemp type cloth that is gonna be real sturdy, strong. It's gonna be practical, is what it's gonna be, and we're gonna make our own,
like a poncho, like those Western ponchos, like kind of thing.
Exactly. I mean, it's gonna be simple, but I think it's gonna set the standard. If we can't buy or sell anymore, and unless if we have miracles where our shoes and our clothes don't wear out, which has happened before, so I'm not saying it can't, but simple, practical clothing and all that is going to be a part of every Christian's daily life.
I agree.
Yeah, Jason, tell
That's
me.
Right. And I've actually seen other channels where they're doing survival stuff, like where you can get like books where you can how to look for different herbs and stuff like that to be able to live off the land, and basically to be able to forage. You know what I mean? And that actually might be a pretty good idea. Not to try to be one of those 2012, you got to have your bug out bag like Richie from Boston type situation, but just to have more practical knowledge where, to be able to spot different types of vegetation that's edible and can be used for medicines and stuff like that. Because, being able, it's not just being able to buy and sell, but, like medical, like being able to get medication and going to see the doctor and, stuff like that. That's going to be all difficult too, because I literally believe in the Bible. I believe in Revelation. A lot of people look at me like I'm crazy, and they're like, people are talking about saving up and getting a house and this, and that, and taking on a mortgage. And I'm like, do you guys not see the writing on the wall? Like, it is not those times. Like, it's not the times to take on a 30-year mortgage or something like that. If you can buy you up a fixer-upper, do that. But don't put yourself in contract or something like that where you thinking life is just going to keep on going in the same state. I mean, even if it takes a little while before the tribulation hits, which I don't believe, things are going to change rapidly in the next 5 to 10 years, one way or the other, regardless if it goes straight into the tribulation or not. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that's evident regardless. But yeah, I just really wanted to try to sort out, because I still watch those channels. I still watched True Stranger to Fiction. I still watch Subtle Infinity. And I even went back and started looking at ODD and stuff like that, just to see what they actually are saying, to listen to what they're saying, not just the proofs and stuff, but who do they say that the enemy is and what they advise the viewers to do. Mm-hmm. And because what made me think.
And what are you seeing? What are you seeing from that?
Basically, what I get from ODD, he just is against the system, but he doesn't put his faith in Yahawashai. You know what I'm saying? He is more about just showing the problem, but not putting a solution out there. Whereas like Will from Truth and Stranger Fiction, he sticks with the Bible. He talks about having your faith in Jesus, and he sticks with that narrative. What I like about him, I just think he goes on way too in depth about, you know, the things he talks about. I wish he would just sometimes just get straight to scripture sometimes, you know what I mean? He seems to give us so much information about what they believe in in their metaphysical models and stuff like that.
Teachings and all that. And
it's just
and when's the last time that he's really touched on Earth being flat and tried to prove it?
Right. He's like, it seemed like he threw his hands up in the air kind of thing, you know? It's like he just, like, he believes in it,
he agrees with
but at the same time, he doesn't want to put both feet down on the ground and say, this is what I truly believe. I think he believes, and it might be the same thing for him to do, to say, I just don't know, you know? And that's a fine admission. To be able to say I don't know is fine. But I think he just goes too much into the mysticism and knowing all about that and the history and who started it and where they're going and Blavatsky and all that stuff and Crowley and, you know, and all McKenna and all that. He just goes so much into that he never lets up. And I just wish he would, because I still wish he'd join up with you guys on one way or the other.
I know.
But that's just wishful thinking, you know me. So the point of it all is, basically, I just feel like you guys are winning.
Oh,
and
thanks, man.
The way that's the way, because even like Ranty, I subscribe to his channel because you guys went on there just to see what he's talking about. And every morning he's going out there and shooting the Isle of Man one way or the other, you know, with one hand tied behind his back, standing on one foot, upside down, whatever. And it's like he's doing the same thing over and over. And then you look at these other going with the same thing. It's almost like you brought them to a stalemate. You know what I mean? As far as the chess game. And then when you called out Jaren, you basically showed how he's just BS now. You can't just take a line and go 3 miles and not expect no slack. You got it right then and there. You got him. You know, and that just goes to show that you guys are outthinking the enemy right now. You know what I mean? And, you know, I just want to let you guys know I appreciate all you're doing, and don't get disheartened or nothing like that, because what I would actually like to see myself is if you can do more footage, like when you went out there on the boat and you looked at the rain and stuff like that. And I know Terry's getting his equipment ready and stuff like that, but that stuff really interests me, because I believe that the waters above was higher. You know, I didn't think that they were the clouds. I didn't think about the moisture in the air, you know, and the firmament being called heaven, you know, and the first heaven where the birds fly, that's the separating between the water that's on the ground and the water that's in the sky, you know. And then when you point out, hey, there's billions of gallons of water floating above your head, don't you see that is kind of weird? And then it's like, oh yeah, duh, ding, light bulb right there. Yeah, that is kind of weird. I never thought about it like that. I mean, you do when you're a kid, but you just automatically dismiss it. They seem to make it like, you know, oh, it just, you know, evaporates. Well, evaporation is like 80 degrees Fahrenheit or something like that is when water evaporates. So it's not 80 degrees at that altitude. At that altitude, it's already like 50 degrees on any given day. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So therefore, how does stay up there? How does it condense into a cloud? How does the cloud stay in their same formation for hours going across the sky, you know? And I never thought about that. And that brings the whole first couple of chapters of Genesis and the creation into play, because here it is, like Paul said, the evidences of the Most High is in his creation. You know what I mean? And here you go. You look at the sky, you see the clouds, you know that they things got tons of water, you know, caused a flood here on the ground, and here it is yet floating up in the sky directly above us somehow. And you can't say that it's normal evaporation where you have just the temperature of the water changing into a vapor, so therefore it stays up because it's condensed back into a liquid state, and there it is floating across the sky. So obviously the clouds are more like covers for the windows of heaven than the actual bodies of water that holds them, in my outlook of looking at things. So I don't know if you guys can do more videos like that. I just would appreciate that myself, on top of the tests you guys are trying to do. But that was just my
yeah. Oh, thanks, man. I plan on going through some footage here. This isn't my stuff right here, but I want to go through a couple things from D.Marble and from this other channel. It's P900 footage. It's solid debunk of the AE map and model, that kind of stuff. We're going to be calling out some more shills, and I just want you to.
Has D.Marble replied to your call out about how it wasn't 24-hour sun? Has he ever tried to reply to you there?
Well, it's sort of in this material that we're going to go through. He says that he went to Alaska in one of the videos to debunk Ronnie and I, although he would not mention us by name. It was like there's a couple of guys that are saying that there isn't a 24-hour sun, and so yeah, I'm going to show some, total fakery, another solid caught in the act fakery, and Ronnie and I are just going to keep making connections between all these channels. And I know there's a couple channels that you still like right now, and keep track of all the channels. Pay attention to what comes out of everybody's mouth. Ronnie and I pay attention to channels that we think are shills, and see what they say, come to your own conclusions. But one of the things that we're going to keep pointing out is the networks that these people operate within. And so as we go through these channels, show, hey, these are the channels that they feature. This is all the channel, if a channel shows their subscriptions, this is who they subscribe to. Keep documenting this person supporting this person. And back when we started Beyond Flat Earth, we created this sort of a flowchart thing that I'd like us to implement again, where we show the hubs, the big players. We'll make the bubble the size, sort of related to the size of the channel, and then we'll have the arrows that come off and show the networks, who supports who, and just help keep this all spotted for everybody. And we want people's input too on it. They're not going to like it much. They're probably going to be pretty unhappy about it. But that's what we do as watchmen. Is we call this stuff out.
I know, and that's great. And I really commend you guys for doing that, because you guys take the time to try to point out how the adversary is using people against people seeking the truth. And it's so hard to try to find it. And, I just applaud you guys taking all this time and commitment. And, like I looked on here, there's 36 people watching, maybe even 50 by now. But you guys are really, going to bat for 50 people and whoever else that watches the videos later, and I just appreciated you taking your time out that you are. You're not asking for donations. You're not asking for money. You're just asking for help to get the test. And even I think it was yesterday, that you're willing to do like crowdfunding, where you're going to even refund a percentage of what you can sell back, which just shows that it's not about the money to you. It's just about the truth and getting your reward in heaven. You know what I mean? So I really do just want to tell you guys that God bless you for everything, and I appreciate it.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Yeah, God bless.
And you and Ron have a good night. I'm about to jump off here. Just keep watching and see what you guys come up with. All right.
Yeah, great call. He seems to be on top of it. It's just sad that we've reached out to Will numerous times, and after the debate, nor did he support us or share in the victory. He went ahead and doubled down and said that simulation is wrong and all this other Gnostic stuff. When I even told him truth is winning. I try so hard to be friendly with the guy.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I liked his videos and
Me too, but
reached out to him many times, but
he called our map a trap, right? And we won the debate with that map. They didn't even provide a map of their model, right? We smashed those guys.
All right. So starting here with D.Marble. We've got right on his shirt in his channel art, we've got the AE map and model. Right? It's not right. We've shown that it's not right. And then his related channels are Celebrate Truth. This is one of those snow globe type cosmologies. You've got Jeranism, Your Curveless Earth at Nathan Roberts, ODD, Nathan Oakley, 1980, and Greater Sapien. And just want to show you who some of the network here. As you look through this list, Ronnie, you want to call out channels that you recognize as being shill channels? I will too.
High Impact Flicks is probably a show.
Yeah.
Stranger Than Fiction News is Ron Johnson. He's a show. Eric DeBay is a show. Bro Sanchez, Scotty DeBrani. Probably plant-based comedian. That's just my NASA channel.
Brian Austin Lambert, 33.
He's not as bad as of a show as most of them, but
Yeah.
he still promotes the AIM model.
Yeah. The NASA channel or Math Powerland.
Karen B, Sun and Moon Group. This is most of the community. Flat Earth, the fake ones.
Yeah. Convex Earth, Sun and Moon Family United. See, this is where when we're calling you out, that's
Teal Summer.
A Plain Truth. You just had something that you saw about Plain Truth. What was that?
I don't know. I
thought you said that Plain Truth was exposed as
Eric Bowman exposed him as a Jesuit. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, I thought you were talking about. There's two channels. There's another Plain Truth guy as well, but
okay. Yeah, Mr. Thrive and Survived.
Yeah.
Dr. Zach, this Joey guy I see in Nathan's chat, he hates us.
Yeah, Vegan Warrior. Bunch of these guys. That Banjo guy is a super flat Earth AE map and model like lover. That guy's the worst one. And a dome.
Who is?
The Spanish guy. You passed him. It's okay. Keep going.
Okay. Yeah, Truth is Stranger Than Fiction, Flat Earth Paradise. Zetetic Flat Earth. That's total Freemasonry there.
Red Flag Media. It's all about the tribe of Israel.
Richie from Boston.
This is a good mix. He's got most of the Flat Earth Conference team.
Robbie Davidson, Dell from Beyond the Imaginary Curve.
Antarctic Warrior. Everybody but us, right?
Antonio Subritz.
Mike Kamenik.
Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole. We're going to be covering him in just a little bit.
Nathan Oakley. Carly
Sunshine.
Martin
Thor J. Dorka and Jeranism.
Well, you might come up. Do you think you're on this list?
I doubt it. Mark Sargent.
Yeah, Rob, Patricia.
That's it.
Wow.
So he's pretty shelled out. That's
Ben Swan. He's got some like weird other fake YouTubers as well, not Flat Earth related.
But it's this video that he put up today that got my attention. Why doesn't the sun shrink as it sets? And
sets as it.
All right, so
I guess Sean showed up to defend his military buddy. This isn't going to go well, Sean. This is about D.Marble.
All right, so what he's doing is he's taking he's taking people to footage, his Alaska footage, and he's showing here in his editor, he's taking clips from during the day. He's keeping that clip up, and then right towards sunset, he's comparing the. Let's just skip through here a little bit. He's comparing the size of the sun right here to the size of the sun right here. And keep in mind, this is time-lapse footage that he's using. So he does this comparison multiple times from different segments. And this is his answer to the question, why doesn't the sun shrink as it sets? This is a frequent asked question that heliocentric enthusiasts ask is, if Earth is flat, why doesn't the sun shrink as it sets? Here's your answer. All right, so he's saying the sun shrinks. And the absurd part of this is every single one of you people out there can verify by yourself with just your eyes every morning and every evening that the sun does not shrink, that it has the same angular size throughout the day every single day. Now, if you have a camera that has zoom capability and you use solar filters during the bright part of the day, you will be able to verify that the angular size of the sun at sunrise, midday, and sunset is essentially the same. So what is he showing right here is the big question, right? Isn't this proof that the sun gets larger at midday and then it gets smaller?
That's what he's trying to state. It's ridiculous. This has been debunked. Like, it's he's insulting his own subscribers. Really is.
So I want to get to a certain point here where he's going to let this footage play. And he's going to show something that, where is it now? Well, I think it's right in this area.
That's coming up.
All right, I'm going to run this.
For the record, this is at 1 a.m. on the 21st, and according to timeanddate.com, well, you can see all the other places where the sun was visible at the same time. Now, here, let me actually make this a little bit bigger. You're saying maybe that it's just glare from the horizon. No, actually, when you blow it up, you can see that the sun is still visible on the horizon. So there is that. Let me shrink that back. And back to its original place. Okay. So, might make another video about that at some point.
All right.
Anyway,
so this is the section coming up
so,
right here.
yeah,
Everybody
still
pay
see the
attention.
sun, just the same.
He's going to let
Now
this video
let's
play.
Fast, pull this thing forward. Sun continues moving over the horizon.
So the sun's not setting here. Watch it. Watch it run
And
right up the edge of that hill.
Perfectly. And let me see.
All right. Let's go back here. I want you to see this a couple of times.
Sun continues moving
Yeah,
over the
slow it
horizon.
down. You can actually, if you slow it down, you can actually see the jumps where you can see it's sloppy editing. They go right down to 2.5.
Okay.
Just for a second, you're going to see the jumps, right? Right there. There's a bunch. Right.
And came up the hill.
There's a little flicker there.
Perfectly.
Camera moves. It doesn't really look the right aspect here.
Okay, but hopefully everybody saw it roll up the edge of that hill right there. All right. So this right here is from, this was streamed June 24th, 2018. This hangout is to do a live presentation of my findings from my trip to Alaska. And so he's got this hangout here. Now let's watch as he plays his footage right from this section here.
Afternoon, something like that. You can see the clouds moving in different directions. I did not turn the sound off on this one. All right, continuing on. And there's that tree line I told you about. All right. Continue on around there. All right. I had to adjust the camera a few times while I was following the sun around because it didn't go in a perfect circle where I could just leave the camera at one angle. Then I had to straighten it out right here. So you can see it never went dark.
See, he says it never went dark. Listen.
Like right here it's like 3:15 in the morning, okay? Still early in the morning, it never got dark. It was like eternal dusk as far as the sun went out in the distance. And then around 5 a.m. the sun peaks back around this hill here.
Right. Do you see anything different here? Let's watch this one again.
Yes, I see a lot different. Yes, the sun sets
around there.
Yes, there it goes.
All right. I had to adjust the camera a few times while I was following the sun around because it didn't go in a perfect circle where I could just leave the camera at one angle.
God.
Then I had to straighten it out right here.
This is
so
all
you can see it never went dark. Like right here it's like 3:15 in the morning, okay? Still early.
Yeah. So is that damning, brother? Is that super damning?
Hello. He's like zoomed in, cropped in. Go back to the one he's playing now. So it's way zoomed in on, right? He's cropped it and he's edited it. This is totally different. Same spot though.
No.
You got it slowed down.
Oh yeah.
It just blows my mind.
Sun continues moving over the horizon.
See the clips. Clip.
And came up that hill perfectly.
Come on, man. It did that one day, and then the next day it didn't do that? Is that what he's going to say?
Where's a good stopping point?
Come on, man. Come on.
All right. So this whole thing that he was trying to do in the beginning, where he's taking clips where the sun's, big and bright like this, and then he's comparing it to a sun that's about to set, and we actually did see it actually sets. Let's take a look at something Flat Earth Photography did. And where is that video? Here we go. So, published May 29th, 2017. The sun does not get smaller on flat Earth. Nikon, Coolpix, P900, Jeranism, DITRH, Dr. Zach exposed. So here's DITRH, D-I-T-R-H.
You should play this. You should play it.
Yeah, let me, just to be on the safe side here, I'm going to run this quick. Public notice of nonprofit educational fair use in compliance with Title 17, Section 107 of the United States Copyright Code. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, video media, or video discs under certain circumstances, without authorization of the copyright holder. This infringement of copyright is called fair use and is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody. All right, just had to do a little plug there. And we don't want any copyright strikes. This is about criticism, news reporting, and I miss Flat Earth photography. I wish he was still fighting for the truth, but he's gone. We don't hear from him anymore. So what he did is, this is Mikal from Flat Earth Photography. He did some time lapse, and let's just take a look at what some of these time lapses look like. This one. Hey, is the sun getting smaller? Is it going away? So, did everybody understand what they were seeing right there? This is time-lapse footage, and you can clearly see that, before sunset, the sun is brighter, and it's got all this glare, but so this isn't zoomed footage. You can see right here that you can see the foreground. We're not zoomed in on the sun. If you had a solar filter on, you would see the disk of the sun not changing size, but what's happening is the auto exposure on the camera is continually adjusting, because what it's doing is stitching together photographs. And so as the sun becomes less and less bright, the auto exposure compensates for it until finally you get down to the actual disk size of the sun, which it was always the same. But right now, the brightness is blowing it out where you can't see the edges.
Yeah, and the same goes with our own eyes.
Yeah. And then, so what he goes on to show is real zoomed in footage, right? We can just sort of skip through here. You see how big the disk of the sun is there? And then it goes into its set mode.
Yeah, it clearly doesn't get smaller, ever.
Yeah, I'll speed this up double speed.
On a bridge without a beach. Yeah, that makes no sense at all.
Note the power lines aren't behind the sun as well, right?
Yeah, and the brightness of the sun's not obscuring the power lines at all.
Inside your asshole channel, you know?
So he's calling out David of Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole for his fake evidence and the fact that he's got a P900 and he doesn't show people that the sun does not shrink. It doesn't get smaller. This is not a shrinking sun. It's not shrinking and disappearing. Watch this. Okay. I'll put this back to normal. All right. But Mikhail said it's only brightness. Don't you people see it? If you are still sub to these fraudsters pushing the AE map, please unsub from me. And so this was exposed May 29th, 2017. And we've got D.Marble still pushing this narrative. August 1st, 2018. Why doesn't the sun shrink as it sets? And he's saying that the sun shrinks using this same time lapse thing that David of Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole has used. It's the same trick. And what blows me away is that people can go out and look with their own eyes and see that the sun doesn't start out as a small little tiny dot and grow in size and disappear as a tiny little dot. You've never seen that except for D.Marble and Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole and a couple other channels that have shared their work.
If you go to a beach and you have a west-facing view, you watch a moonset or a sunset, or if you conversely look east, anyone on the East Coast can watch the sunrise and the moonrise on the ocean. It's huge. It's monstrous. And you can see that in artists' depictions. You'll notice that there's a lot of paintings from before we had technology where they depicted the moon and the sun as monsters above the horizon with clouds behind them in many, many paintings.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, that absolutely exposes D.Marble. And we've been, you know what, I guess we have to continue to re-up and continue to do this and to continue to point out that you cannot take time-lapse footage with a camera switching its focus and compare it to one with a solar filter. If you have a solar filter on, and this is something that they tried to use against us in the debate, Jason and I were like, we do not believe the sun ever changes size. The only thing that ever happens is the sun's position to you, the observer, will always be at a fixed set distance. The higher you go, the further away the sun will appear. That's what we teach. But it'll always be the same size, no matter where you're looking at it from. Right? They tried to use that against us, and we don't even teach that. We debunked that before them. Reds did film it with a solar filter as well. And that's why he was hoping we would disagree with them, but we didn't.
No, we know that the sun does not change its angular size. We are not reality deniers. We film with the P900. We know that. So here's some footage. I just want to show people. Let's see here. Trying to get behind that screen. Well. So this is from Eternal Perspective. All right, this is.
He's running.
What's
Nathan
that?
Oakley. He's with Nathan Oakley or Nathan Roberts now. Your Curveless Earth. He was with him at the conference, right?
Yeah, he was in a live stream with Nathan Roberts.
He also made it in like you know, the big Vice News piece and ABC piece. You know, all those hit pieces. He's actually in a bunch of those too, getting out of his car with like a scarf around his neck and, you know, talking about being crazy.
Yeah, so one of the first things that you see is he's got the snow globe with the dome, the ice wall, the AE map model, and then he's trying to tie it to scriptures. And so, yeah, this channel we take a peek at. And so he's got a playlist over here. He's renamed it to Exposing the Truth. And he's got The Life of Jesus. He's got The Truth is Stranger Than Fiction. He's got Lounge V Films, The Bible, Jeff H.K., Flatwater, Flat Earth, Shazwar, Bug Tea, Astronaut. So this is part of a team. This right here is normally the featured channels, but you can rename it, because down here is his related channels. And of course, he's related to Your Curveless Earth, Daniel Pratt, and Richie from Boston. So he does have P900 footage. And so this video is, which one is it? Oh, this one right here from 6 days ago. And I'm just going to show it from my editor so it's a little easier to jump through. So he starts out like this. He doesn't say anything in the video, but what he's showing is obviously a sunrise. The sun is going up as we're progressing through the footage here. Look at the size of that sun as it's coming over the roof of those homes. And I'm just going to let everybody get their perspective here from where he's filming from. So it's P900, it zooms in.
Monster sun.
If you look there, he's got Bible.com on his car and YouTube Eternal Perspective. So he's trying to tie that AE map and model to the Bible. And then he swings back around. He'll zoom back in on this. And that is not a small shrinking sun, people. That is not. So just keep jumping through here. Just keep your perspective. Notice that the sun's up above these buildings. It's going into that cloud layer. He's showing you that cloud layer here. You see the clouds above it right now? Hopefully you're keeping track of the clouds that were above the sun. Still going up. All right, so it's in that sort of haze right there. Starting to get a little breakout on the top side. See how it's starting to peer through a little gap in the clouds right there? Okay, so I just want to stop it right here and ask everybody, would you say that that sun was below the clouds from the time that we started this footage till now? Do you see that there's cloud layers above the sun?
Oh, yeah.
Ronnie?
Clear. Oh, yeah.
All right. So in the AE map and model, how high is the sun?
3,000 miles, they say, Jason.
3,000 miles. And it travels between the tropics, right? Capricorn and Cancer?
Yep, it does its path through there, yep.
Okay, so chances are from his location here, the sun would be thousands, at least it's 3,000 high plus whatever distance he is to the latitude that the sun is traveling right now, because it's south of Capricorn, heading towards the equator. And this sun is below those clouds, right? It is below, and we're going to watch it go up and through these clouds. Still going up, still going up. He goes and jumps in his car for a little bit. Then he comes back out. Uh-oh, now where's the sun? He's gonna come in and out. We'll get some perspective here.
That's looking pretty local, brother.
Yeah, it was below the clouds, and
looking like it's right there.
oh, just wait. He gets it good. He gets it good.
There are clouds behind that sun. I can see them with my eye. Hey, people.
It started off below the clouds. We saw it from the beginning. This is a nice long clip. We've been keeping track.
Wow, look at that. Wow.
He gets it covered. It was below those clouds.
Wow.
This way, he gets the focus good a couple of times. It's probably autofocus. Somebody's got to let him know that you need to use manual. Look at that. Better. Whoa, that's nice and crisp. Oh, people, you see that the sun was below.
It looks like a golf ball sitting on some blades of grass. You can see the grass going behind it. And that's clearly obvious, man. Come on. What does Yahawashai have to show us, man? Like, look at that. Those clouds are like 4 miles away.
And it started out below, and it went up through them. We watched it the whole way. You can go check out his whole footage. I'm just sort of skimming through it. And this is a guy that supports the AE map and model. That sun's not 3,000 miles up. It would always be above the clouds, people. Always. There's only one video that I've seen that, look at that. People, can you tell that sun just went through that layer of clouds right there? Can you see it?
You bring it back a bit.
Yeah.
In jungle, we call it a rewind. Rewind on the deck.
Back here was, see where it was nestled in that spot in the clouds?
Oh, I see it. It looks like a painting, you know. There's lots of paintings like this of the sun and the moon. Like that we can all see and that we've all seen the entire time we've been here.
Yeah, and there it is. That's
beautiful shot. You can see it pointing right at him, right?
Yeah. Yeah, but he's an AE mapper. That's, come on, people. Enough with that. This clearly shows right here how close and local the sun is.
Look at that. Look at that. You know, they could say that all of the clouds should be obscured, but no, that's it's clear. It's, you know, it's,
let's go back to where the sun started. It wasn't a tiny little dot. It wasn't a dot coming in and out. It wasn't. There it is, right at the horizon. That went up. Okay. It's below this layer of clouds. It's below. And then it was above. So, I don't know. Then there was the modeling I was going to show people. I could go on for a while with this. So I don't know. We're already at about pushing 2.5 hours. So I don't know if we'll do it tonight. But I'll just show people what I've got here. And the reason why I was showing this before. But what this is a circle with the diameter, or let's say radius of Earth. So this is scale. So if I click up here and go to the center, whoops. What is that? 20,903,520 feet. So that would be 3959 miles in feet. And so this is a scaled circle here. And all I did was stick a PNG into it so that you could get an idea of what it was I intended to show here. It's Earth. And if we come up here and put, so this line right here is a circle created within SketchUp. And this program doesn't make perfect circles. What I ended up doing is making a 720 segment circle, which so as you zoom in here, you can see that it's not one fluid arc. It's made up of 720 segments. So it's not perfect. But then if you come in here from the presentation that we did on the non sequitur against reds and them, I was using the Burj Khalifa as an example. And so the circle of sight that a person can see from the top observatory deck is like 52.3 miles from the Burj Khalifa. So I've just rounded this off to 50 miles or 264,000 feet. And if you go to the curve calculator, let's see, do we have for 50 miles, it's 1,667 feet of curvature that we need in 50 miles. So this distance right here, we zoom in, at 50 miles, you're going to have 1,667 feet of curvature. So I just want to show people quickly before we go that if we swing this around and you have an observer at a beach looking out, that if this is a person situated right here, his feet right at the shore where the ocean or whatever meets the shoreline, that the horizon would never be at a person's eye level, and in fact would be down, because you would have this curve of water. This is how much curve there needs to be. What I want to do is get people to realize that when somebody tells you that Earth is so big that you would never see the curve, when we have a little bit more time, I want to show you how ridiculous the amount of curve is.
Yeah, there's a lot of curve, man. Wow.
This is to scale right now.
I know.
This is the scale, and this is 50 miles. So if I back this out, all right, it doesn't, shows you it's small, but that's 50 miles up there against the globe. The size that they say, 3959 in radius. So this is the kind of curvature that we should see in 50 miles. And when you line this all up, all right, so get it alongside here where you can see that drop in arc. And then here's the big thing as you go higher. So now instead of using the rotate tool that I had, now I'm just going to use this hand. And now as I go higher, so I'm going to grab this and pull down. All right, you can see that this curve drops off intensely. So as we go up here, more and more curve. All right, so this is always going down right here. See, it's always going down as you go up. But in this background here, this is an infinite plane where the blue and the green meet. See, that never changed. So if you're in the Burj Khalifa, the tallest building, and you go from, let's say you go from the shoreline, and then you go up into the tower, you go up to, it's, what is it? 1,821 feet is their observatory deck. See, the horizon would have gone down, down, down. You should have seen curve standing at the beach, but now as you go higher and higher, this.
You have the picture of it?
We can pull it up quick.
Yeah, it kind of does justice for where the actual horizon line is.
Let's look at YouTube. This is where I grabbed the image from. Let's see, which video was it? Oh,
right there. Look at that. Does that curve look like it's dropping?
No, it's rising up.
It's at eye level. This absolutely debunks Sean and Red's rhetoric's experiment because they say they see 3 or 6% drop in 1,000 feet. Yet here we are at what you said was 1,800 feet higher, and the horizon is at dead center of eye line.
That it is. That it is. So maybe we'll wrap it up for tonight, but I would like to go through that modeling more and show people what the angle is, but really how much curve a person should see from different elevations. So doing it at the 1821, the tallest observatory from a building, and then we'll do it at the tallest mountain on Earth. Then we'll do it from a like a traditional airline flight at like 35,000 feet, and then we'll do it from high altitude balloon footage of like 120,000 feet.
Mm-hmm. We'll find it all, right? And then we'll compare, and we'll come to the conclusion of what matches with our consistent reality, right?
Exactly.
But I think that the modeling is great. I think maybe if we come on Friday, we'll just do straight modeling and call-ins. I'd love to see more of that.
Cool.
But it was a great show. I really enjoyed the call. Really, really nice talk again today. Great to see.
Well, thank you, brother. Thank you so much. Thank you to all that participated, and please share. Please make Flat Earth channels get behind an experiment. It's enough of this. Either do our water level experiment or do the 3 mile long string that Jaron wants to do.
It's your call, friends. I'm going to play us out, Jay.
All right.
You heard this where?
Only on Beyond Flat Earth.
You are now tuned into the one and only
All Out Truth Channel. The true Yahawashai Network. Please turn your volume to max. And be prepared for
Awake Souls and Event Skeptic.
back again with yet another outstanding debunk video. Broadcasting worldwide. We go beyond the lies and deception. Soar to the highest of heights, down to the darkest of deceptions. Nothing can stop.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
Yahawashai!
Your best community for top news and information regarding simulation reality, Christianity, and flat earth proof. Ouch! Now reached the first ever simulation nation realization. We are beyond flat earth.
TKO!
Yahawashai!
TKO! TKO!